In this video, I'll talk about the procedures and actions required to abandon the ship in heavy weather. And this is part of my series of videos on shipboard emergencies, of course. And the content of this video basically covers or rather prepares the mariners to answer questions related to this topic. So let's start with. So, of course, when you have decided, or when the master has decided that the ship needs to be abandoned, then it's you have to send a distress position in a distress message, as well as a nature of distress should be included in that message. The ship is to be abandoned when a grave danger is perceived, where it is safer to be on a survival craft on the ship than on the ship itself. So, of course, abandoning the ship is the last resort, and normally a master will not abandon the ship unless it is necessary for the master to do so. And that could be examples could be if the ship is breaking into half, or the ship is taking too much water, which may lead to the ship sinking, or if the ship has caught fire and the fire is beyond control of the ship's crew. So there could be these are some of the examples I'm quoting. There could be other examples, of course, but abandon the ship only when it is required, or otherwise only when you feel it is safer to be on a survival craft at sea rather than on the ship. The ship in a heavy weather will be affected by strong winds and waves, and providing a lee may be of advantage when launching the survival craft. However, this may result in excessive rolling, which may make the evacuation or the launching of the life rafts or life crafts dangerous. The ship may suddenly or heavily list, in which it would be possible to only launch the survival craft on the lower side and not on the higher side, because it may list severely. Hence, a compromised direction should be selected before releasing the survival craft in the heavy weather. Heavy weather subjects is of course referring to stormy seas, high swells, strong winds. So the breaking of waves can partly be controlled by spreading oil over the sea. This is generally achieved by pouring oil from the forward part of the vessel, either through drums or through scuppers, so that it can be spread out. Vegetable oil or lube oil can be used. However, you should not be using fuel oil, because the dangers to catching fire is high in the fuel oil. In order to prevent the boat from damage when hitting the ship's side, mattresses can be lowered along the ship's side as fenders. In order to reduce the pendulum swing of the boat, the wire falls can be pulled inwards towards the ship's side by means of using wire snorters. The engines of the lifeboat or the lifeboat, not the life raft. Life raft doesn't have engines, but engines of the lifeboat should be started before lowering the survival craft. If the boat is lowered with an on-load release system, then falls should be released just above the water level. In case, however, if it is being released off-load, then the boat should be lowered onto a falling crest of a wave, so that the falls are pulled down as it enters the next trough of the wave and released when the boat begins to rise. When the survival craft is in the water, it should move away from the ship's side as quickly as possible. This can be achieved by using the full engine power and full rudder action. Shifting the forward painter to the aft of the boat will also help. Since you will already keep your engines started, it should not be too tough for you to keep the engines running and shift away from the vessel as soon as possible, as soon as the boat is released from the mechanism. Finally, survival crafts without propulsion should be towed away from the ship's side. Now these are referring to, of course, life rafts. All survival crafts should move at a safe distance away from the ship. Sea anchors should be streamlined and oil bags should be used to spread the oil over the waves. Sea anchor keeps the boat head into the sea. If not, the waves would capsize the boat. It is preferable to tie all survival crafts together with at least 10 meters of rope between them, so that they can afford to be a bigger target to a searching craft, especially if there are other vessels or other crafts that have been alerted and they are looking for your vessel. At such an open, vast sea, your lifeboat will appear to be very insignificant unless it is coupled together by some other life rafts or lifeboats then it may appear as a significant target, may also be picked up by the radar in some cases. Use the day and night visual distress signal as appropriate, as well as the radio signal. Make sure that you are also carrying your GMDSS radios, your SART, your EPIRBs to indicate or rather send distress messages. Alright, so I hope this video was useful for you to understand the actions and procedures to be taken or followed when launching or abandoning ship in heavy weather. Bye for now.